Hi, my name's Amanda Easton. I'm a performer, singer-songwriter from Sydney, Australia. I make retro-inspired theatrical electronic pop. But when I'm not doing my own music, I do
cabaret,
cover band gigs,
solo gigs,
tribute shows, recording sessions. Welcome to my Circle of Life vlog.
And I'll be watching you from here.
Hi there, how are you? I am very happy to see you tonight. I hope you're doing okay. This is my weekly check-in, and it'll make up part of my vlog, which will be up on YouTube if you want to check it out later. Week's vlog. Oh, we've just had somebody drop in and say hello. Hi. You going to say hello to everybody? What do they say? Don't work with animals and children or something. Or this one gives me no choice. He just jumps on everything. She was asleep on my keyboard just a second ago. I think it's nice and warm there. Anyway, this is my weekly check-in to see how you guys are doing. I got to say, I feel like I need to do a Facebook Live that's a little bit more friendly to my US friends because, wow, the news is a bit scary coming out of there and I'm feeling pretty worried about you lot. I hope everybody else. Hi, Liza, how are you? Good to see you. Now, Miss Liza Olbach, I was talking about you last week, and today, the First Ladies of Soul a cappella harmony parts, a couple of them anyway, we've got a few more to come, went up on Facebook today. I say a little prayer for you the moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup. I say a little prayer for you while combing my hair now. I'm wondering what dress to wear now. I say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, you'll stay in my heart, and I will love you forever and ever. We never will part. Oh, how I love you. Together, together, that's how it must be. To live without you would only be heartbreak for me. So if you haven't already checked them out, have a look at either the First Ladies of Soul Facebook page or my own Facebook page and check them out. I think we did all right, Liza. What do you reckon? It's a challenge and it's really interesting because today I thought I would talk about technology. Hi, Ferry. It's lovely to see you too. I've got to say, I feel like I've been coping okay with this whole isolation, and you know, the news has been very scary, and not to underplay how dreadful the world situation is, but me personally, I feel like I've coped okay. I feel like I've got my family around me. I've certainly got plenty to do. There's always something creatively to do. And, you know, I've been taking a day at a time, and I haven't had any major freakouts until yesterday. And it's so typical of me. The freak out was about technology. There's three of us in the house and we all have a laptop each because obviously my young son has to do his online schooling, and so I actually had a spare laptop, so he had that one. Well, yesterday it decided to fail, so I had to give him my laptop because obviously the school is more important than anything that I'm doing for no income. And Simon, of course, is making the only income that this house is seeing, so he needs to have his computer. And so, you know, if you ever want to get on the wrong side of me, take my technology away. I did completely freak out. I'm a little bit ashamed of myself because really, I'm in a great position here. I'm healthy, I'm happy. You know, we've got everything we need, but my technology. I remember when I was pregnant with said child, and it's the last time that I felt this kind of feeling of isolation, I reckon. And those are good morning, Jerry, how are you going? And for those of you that have had children, you can probably relate, but those first few months particularly, it's all very new, and there is a lot of time generally that you spend by yourself or with your young child, but of course your young baby can't communicate too much with you, not in the way that we communicate with other people anyway, and it is an isolating feeling, and I had a big freak out then. That's the last time I remember having a massive big diva freak out. And so my husband very kindly bought me this little tiny laptop, like one of those little notebooks that I could balance on my knee, so I'd have baby in one arm because he was practically joined to me for the first few months of his life, which is lovely, of course, and on the other hand I had my little notebook so that I still felt connected to the world. And it was about sending emails to friends and just having an outlet into the rest of the world. And that's what I feel like our technology is more than ever at the moment. So what do? We haven't left the house for 43 days, not at all, except for the mailbox at the front and the backyard out the back door. All our groceries have been delivered. Everything we've needed has been delivered. So we literally haven't left the house. And if you're wondering why we're so particular, both the boys in my family have quite severe asthma, so we wanted to be particularly careful. But what do I do without a computer? So I went out into the big wide world, and it was a really odd feeling. We'd already bought masks and all that kind of stuff, so I've got my hand sanitizer and put my hair up in a baseball cap and put my mask on. And JB Hi-Fi is a block away from my house, which, how good is that? For a technology lover like me, it's really good. And so I walked the block, and you know what? Nothing looked different. The world looked like it had just been going on for normal for this whole time that I've been in my house. And I started to think, did I dream this? Because I'm sure we all had that sensation when this whole thing started. Is this a dream? Is this a nightmare? Is this really happening? And it's a little bit like, I find I do a lot of reading, and sometimes I get so caught up in the world of whatever novel I'm reading that I kind of carry it in my head into my real life. And that's the way I felt with this whole coronavirus thing. I thought, oh, it must be a book I'm reading. It must be a movie that I saw. This can't be real. I'm just carrying it around with me. But no, of course, it was real. But I did second guess myself yesterday because I walked up the street. I probably encountered about a dozen people in a block. No, but hi John, how are you? Nobody was wearing a mask. Nobody was keeping their distance. I'm walking around like a paranoid person, you know, trying to keep my distance and keeping away from everybody. And everyone was just walking along as normal. No masks. I couldn't believe that. It's only a block. So and of course, you know, I press the button on the lights and then I wash my hands with the sanitizer and I get to JB Hi-Fi. And I'm still thinking, well, it's open. That was a surprise. I didn't know that most of the shops have been open a lot of the time. So I walk in and they do have some things in place, like arrows to walk in, arrows to walk out that weren't normally there. So I'm going, okay, I think I'm not going crazy. I think this thing is real. And then eventually another customer walked in the shop who was wearing a mask. But there was probably maybe 25, it's a big store, 25 customers in the store just browsing, and someone would come into my aisle and I would just move out of the way. And normally I am a very sociable person. I love to have a hug, I love to have a chat, and I like to be close to people. So good morning, Hamid, how are you? I hope I've pronounced your name properly. So it was a very odd sensation to be out, but then I was convinced in the end that actually this coronavirus thing is real, and it wasn't just in my head, and I wasn't the only person living it once I realised. But you know, like JB Hi-Fi weren't taking cash, for example. So anyway, the bottom line is I took my laptop in, because that's where I bought it, at JB Hi-Fi, and they were going to fix it for weeks. 4 weeks. I got crazy without my laptop for about 2 hours yesterday. So 4 weeks without my technology? No way. So I said, sell me your most basic laptop. And he's like, oh, well, do you want, just give me any laptop. I need to have a laptop and walk out the door as soon as I can. Bonjour. So they did just that. They got a laptop, and I kind of just, I don't care about that feature. No, I just want it to work. I want it to be able to, you know, a USB plug-in and a keyboard, and I'm happy. That's all I need. And so I walked home with the brand new little laptop, and my other one's going to be fixed in 4 weeks. But I just realized I really am in love with my technology. You know, I really don't feel like I can do without it, and that's on a normal day. But during these times at the moment, absolutely more than ever. And you might not know, but I went to university and I studied journalism and theatre. So there were those two sides of me, kind of, you know, do something kind of corporate, do something creative, although you could argue that journalism is very creative. But I ended up getting a job as a writer at Microsoft. So it was corporate, but it had that creative writing side. And then, you know, eventually I left to be a singer. But I suppose I fell in love with my technology when I was at Microsoft, because I wasn't really into computers and that kind of thing before then. But once I discovered the world of technology, there's no going back. And people say things to me like, oh, you must have a natural affinity for technology. And I completely don't think I did or do. All I would do, I learnt the secret. You just press all the buttons. You press every single button, work out what that button does, and that's all you need to do. That's totally the trick of technology. And I think more than ever that artists, music artists, probably other kind of artists as well, have to know their technology. I just think a lot of artists are very creative. Well, they all are creative people, but they think, because I'm creative, I can't be business minded or I can't be technology minded, but I think you can. And I think you almost have to in today's world. Did anybody watch, there was, the Australian version was called The Homefront, I think. It was a big concert of a whole lot of different artists beaming out of their lounge rooms or their kitchens, which is so beautiful. I loved it. And the international version, which was Together at Home, I think it was called. And there were, you know, everyone from Keith Urban, who's an Aussie, of course, anyway. Annie Lennox. Did anybody see Annie Lennox sitting at the grand piano playing Must Be Talking to an Angel, you know that song, and her daughter comes in part way, beaming in from her own house, not in the same house, and does the duet with her. I mean, I adore Annie Lennox anyway, but her daughter, oh my goodness, she's beautiful and she has a beautiful rich voice, and the two of them just sounded so incredible together. But Annie was literally sitting at the piano singing. No, I don't think there was a microphone. There was certainly no proper audio feed or anything. It was literally just straight into a camera or straight into the phone. So part of me thought, oh, maybe there could have been a little bit extra production there because the sound wasn't amazing. But at the same time, what a privilege to be watching her just sitting at the piano like you're in the same room with her. Amazing. I loved it. So I hope you guys caught some of those concerts. It's all up on YouTube anyway. So who else did I see? I saw Lady Gaga. Personally, I think she's always amazing. I mentioned Keith Urban. He actually had his technology down and his audio was brilliant. You know, the really interesting thing is that the sound of the Australian version of the concert. Hi Lou, nice to see you. Oh, look at that. Strobe, it's a party. The technology, the audio sound quality on the Australian concert was actually a lot better than the international. It's as if somebody had actually produced it and, you know, put the technology in place, whereas the international one was literally just everybody doing what they could from their own homes. And they were both really good in different ways. So I hope you're all doing well. I actually, if you were here last week, I made a big song and dance, literally, about playing a song, which is ridiculous because obviously I'm a professional singer and I sing all the time. Hi Kathy, how are you? Nice to see you. My neighbour from just up the road. And but I never sing in this context, which is exactly what I'm saying about that international concert where artists were just sitting in their lounge room and just played directly to a phone or directly to camera. I'm used to having my proper technology around me, the microphone into a sound system, you know, ideally another musician with me and all of that kind of stuff. And it's just so rare for me just to sing live without any of that technology. And if you're used to singing in microphones all the time, you realize that the technique is actually vastly different. Just singing and singing into a microphone, you completely change everything. And but I thought this is a time that we need to be challenging ourselves, and I feel like I want to come out of this isolation with improved skills and having achieved something, because I probably can't achieve an income. So I thought if I can achieve something else, that would be awesome. And last week I told a story about how I not long ago found out I was related to Amanda Easton, the British singer. And somebody asked me to sing a little bit of For Your Eyes Only, which I did directly to the phone and just, you know, playing a few chords on the piano. So then somebody also requested Dock of the Bay, which is obviously Otis Redding, an amazing song. So I've done the same thing. I've just looked up the chords on the computer and then I changed them to suit my key. And I'm just going to play basic chords and just sing a little bit of it, because how can I say no? Somebody wants to hear me sing a song. I'm so flattered. So excuse the rawness. It's all about the rawness nowadays, apparently. Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when the evening comes, watching the ships roll in, then I'll watch them roll away again. I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Looks like nothing's ever gonna change. Everything remains the same. I can't do what 10 people tell me to do, so I guess I'll remain the same. Sitting here resting my bones, and this loneliness won't leave me alone. 2,000 miles I roamed just to make this dock my own. I'm gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. I would like to be sitting on the dock of the bay soon. I hope we can all get out of here soon, ladies and gentlemen, safely. That song was for Steve, so Steve, I hope you're watching, or at least you can catch up with it later. If you want to see some properly produced and recorded songs, please go to my YouTube site. It's at youtube.com/Amanda Easton, and that's Easton like Sheena, E-A-S-T-O-N. I'm also doing a thing at the moment where if you join my mailing list, I send you a free bundle of songs, so don't be shy. You can do that. Seb, how are you? It's lovely to see you. Well, it's lovely to have you see me. That doesn't make sense, does it? But I can see your icon, and that's good. I miss your face too. So if you want to sign up to the mailing list and get those free songs, then please do. You can do that at the top of my Facebook page or at my website, amandaeaston.com. So let me see here. Oh, it's so nice to see you all. I'll see you next week. I think next week I'll do a live sometime in the morning so I can catch up with my American friends who I'm sure we're all really feeling for and thinking about at the moment. No, your face is brilliant, Seb. Anyway, love you all.
Stand in line until you think you have the time to spend an evening with me. And if we go someplace to dance, I know that there's a chance you won't be leaving with me. Then afterwards we drop into a quiet little place and have a drink or two. And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you. I can see it in your eyes, you still despise the same old lies you heard the night before. And though it's just a line to you, for me it's true, it never seemed so right before. I practice every day to find some clever lines to say to make a meaning come through. But then I think I'll wait until the evening gets late and I'm alone with you. The time is right, your perfume fills my head, the stars get red and all the nights saying something stupid like I love you. Your perfume fills my hair, the stars get red and all the nights so blue. And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Hopefully see you soon. Stay well. Bye.
But I'll be watching you.